Paging Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan.
We're live.
I didn't hear the air horn. What's up, everybody?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Revive America, episode
11.
10.
11.
Episode 11. See how fast time passes?
Time flies when you're shitting on the establishment.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody on Instagram checking us out
first
right
time
now.
Live streaming on here.
Why not?
We actually got hit in the face not too long ago by YouTube. We're trying to get off of YouTube, so
Communist YouTube.
we're on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, follow us on Rumble.
Boom.
www.rumble.com/user/Revive US America. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Revive US America.
Because we really would like to get off of YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, not just get off of YouTube, but take the whole damn platform off the internet if possible.
So if
Get
you're
it somewhere
joining
else.
us, make sure you follow my boy Billy. It's some guy named Bill. And if you're following on Billy's, follow me at Not Your Typical
Not your
Politician.
typical politician.
So we are out here. We got a good show for you today.
Yes.
So let's get it started. I'm a history guy, so this first story, when it popped up, I was like, perfect day for it to go. So our first story we have here for you is on this day in history, in 1775. Beautiful year, right before the Declaration was written.
Beautiful.
Patrick Henry demanded the phrase that many of us have heard of "give me liberty or give me death." Now, while that's an amazingly important phrase in American history, it's actually being used right now in China. And it's not something that they're telling us, but China is actually going through in crazy amount of protests right now in the streets.
Well, China has
And the Chinese were yelling this in the street.
China's got quite the history of crushing revolutions and crushing opposition. You know, aka the 1989 Tiananmen Square get ready to be banned because we said that. You don't even get banned on TikTok if you say that, bro.
Really?
If you talk about the 1989
Tiananmen Square?
Yeah, bro.
Good
Talk
thing
about
we're
it
not on TikTok.
Talk about it enough and they'll ban you.
Yeah.
Talk about it enough and they'll ban you.
So I thought this was important for a couple of reasons. One, because I think I'm a little sour, right? Because I hear Republicans and conservatives alike say this phrase all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to say, like, most of y'all do not back this shit up.
Nah.
Right? I'm sorry if you're one of them conservatives and you know who you are, you're just not one of them. Right? How many of these people are like, the Moan Labes, like the come and take it,
yeah.
the don't tread on me's, the give me liberties or give me death. And y'all were the first people to fold. Y'all are the first people to allow the government to continue to draw lines in your sand. And I think we need to get back to like what, a 20-something-year-old Patrick Henry stood and really meant. And like, we forget that the revolution of the United States was run by 18, 19, 22-year-old farmers,
dudes, man.
blacksmiths, just common people, regular kids, younger than us.
You know the thing that's concerning about this is you remember when China assumed control of Hong Kong not too long ago?
Yeah.
Did you see the videos of the protests that were going on out there?
Yeah.
Man? Bro, a lot of those people, for those of you guys that are at home that have not seen videos of the protests that were going on in Hong Kong, those people were out there marching with the American flag, which is contrary to popular belief of what many people in the United States would think. While there's people here in the United States that burn our flag, that talk terribly negatively about the United States, over there in China, they're waving our flag, trying to support freedom and have a free country.
It's true. You want to know something crazy? Like, I remember I ran into, this was a couple years ago at the first Trump rally, not the crazy one,
I know what you're
the
talking
Million
about.
MAGA March.
Yeah, I remember.
And I shit you not, busloads of Chinese people,
thousands
with China for Trump,
FCCP.
right? With FCCP with the American flag, and you'd be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" They'd be like, "We like Trump." Like, yo, they are bigger Trump heads than some people that I know.
I want to know if you saw this guy. Did you see? So during that same exact protest, right in front of BLM Plaza, there was this old Chinese guy, bro. He had to have been like 80 years old, and he had this huge fucking flag, bro. It was probably like 15 feet, and it kept waving. It had a big sign that said "Fuck China." You see that? And he just kept repeating, "Fuck China, fuck China."
But people, what? Everybody likes to think like, what? That China's not, like, I get it. Most of us know China's not up to any good. It's a communist country.
Right.
Like, literally, where sweatshopping is done, right? All the stuff, the woke people, you're on your iPhones that are made in China. Where we run the streets to, burn buildings in our Nikes that are made in China. You know what I mean? It's all comes from there. But how did we get to such a point in America where the phrase "give me liberty or give me death" means more to Chinese citizens than it does to American people?
You know why? The average American has never been. I'm talking about the average American that's alive today. Has not been put in a situation where freedom was on the line. I would say probably the closest people to have had some kind of situation like that were the people that fought for the civil rights in the 1960s. Other than that, if you weren't involved in that situation, you've never been in a situation where you had to actually fight for your freedom. We had the convenience of our military and our government officials and our police forces protecting us and keeping us in this kind of cozy little corner that the rest of the world looks like an abyss, but the rest of the world knows what's really going on in comparison to what's happening in the United States.
It's funny. You ever heard the expression, and maybe the people haven't heard this, but there's an expression that says, that hard times create tough men, tough men create easy times create weak men create tough times. Right now, we're in the weak men creating tough times, right? 1775, you had strong men that were going to create easy times, right? And we've, for the last 200 years, I get it, America, with the historians will be like, who's this? I get it. But right now, what we've seen is a dramatic shift of when, 300 years ago, you had 20-year-olds that were battling the baddest military of the time, Great Britain, and now we have 20-year-olds that they can't even socially interact anymore, right?
Really? You don't know what Trump said?
They can't.
Then I don't even there's nothing we can talk about.
They can't socially interact anymore. They're completely sheltered, and I blame the pandemic isolating people. But it's been going that way. So I thought that was big. But again, to those conservatives, right, that are don't tread on me, that I'll fight for my country. You guys don't vote.
You're not based like that Chinese guy.
New Jersey, 33% of Republicans went out to vote in November.
Which is wild.
So the 64% of y'all, like, with your blue line fucking sticker on the back of your car, and the people with the rattlesnake flag on the front lawn and the Trump 2024 hat, save it.
If there was ever a time to put up, it's right now.
Put up, shut up. Stop it. Right? That's a good way to start the show.
Put up or shut up.
Speaking of China, TikTok CEO is being grilled like Kobayashi on Capitol Hill right now.
TikTok CEO Josie Chu is being grilled on was being grilled Thursday on Capitol Hill as lawmakers seek answers about the popular video sharing app's national security risks and ties to China. The hearing began with scathing remarks from House Energy Committee Chair Kathy McMorris Rogers, who immediately expressed her support for TikTok while blasting the platforms like I can't see what the rest of that damn thing says.
So let's ask you. Let's start it off. How do you feel about TikTok?
So, fun fact, right? So some of you guys may know this, some of you guys may not know this, but I actually have a second page where I make electronic music, and I uploaded some music on TikTok the other day, which is funny, right? It's a video of me just like playing on the MPC.
Mixing.
Now check this out, right?
All right.
It got copyright strike. I made the song. Like, I made this song, the samples, everything. Like, I don't know what hell I'm getting.
Who did they say you were copywriting?
Listen, in all honesty, you know what I think it is, though? Some guy called Bill, some guy named Bill, TikTok page, my primary one, right? The very first video that I put out, and you could probably still find it on Rumble, I think. It was a video of me criticizing Joe Biden, and I called him
how could you?
Shanghai Biden or something like that.
Beijing Biden.
Beijing Biden. That's
Beijing
what I called him.
Biden.
No, Beijing Biden. I called him Beijing Biden, and like I made a joke. Oh, Beijing Biden like sold us out, right? And like,
banned.
At the end, no, this is what I think it was. I got it banned. At the end, it's like a picture of Joe Biden with like Mao Zedong, like
the haircut. Yeah. I've seen that.
And then it's got the fucking the China the CCP national anthem playing in the back.
Right.
Bro, I kid you not. The second I uploaded it, banned almost instantaneously. Now, anytime I post something on TikTok, there's got to be like 40 people looking at it, like trying to find one little thing to just come at me with, bro. So I don't like TikTok. I hate the damn thing. I get people go viral, but I don't like it.
I don't use TikTok, right? Like I'm not. I personally like. I think Instagram has the Reels. It's the same.
Yeah.
Facebook has Reels now, so like
YouTube.
It's just another app for me to get stuck on. Like I never got into TikTok, right? And again, I think when I first downloaded, people were like, "What are you, 12? You're on TikTok?" So I like that shamed me from ever making TikToks. Like I think I made one TikTok, and I was just like, "No, I can't do this." Like I have one, and that was it. But here's my thing, right? You know, we were talking about this outside. Do you think TikTok is really right? Because Ian Smith, right? Ian Smith, shout out to my boy Ian Smith. He's about to have a baby this week.
They're making
man.
life difficult for that gentleman right now, man. They're making
Listen,
life
when you got a beard like that, they don't want to see you win. They
Man.
don't want to see guys like us win, Ian. You stay strong. But
Stay strong, Ian.
no, but seriously, you know, he made a point, right? Because he was like, everybody's like, because he's like, oh, I'm posting, you know, his workout videos on TikTok, right? Because he's got a nutrition company. He said some shit about, for all of you that are going to give me, you know, flack for being on TikTok, like, because of privacy in China, like, bro, you sign over your privacy rights on every app you have.
That's true, though.
Dude, download Candy Crush, and you don't even read the terms and agreements. You give access. Every app you download, allow access to use your microphone, allow access to view your phones. And you can always say no, but again,
You can't even use the app.
but then you can't use the app.
Right.
So these things, right, allowed to use your location, allowed to do this. So I don't want to hear, like, we need to get rid of TikTok for national security. I think it's a farce. And somebody in the other room said something, and I think it's because that's really the place that people are, like, exposing what's going on and talking about actual shit that we don't see on the mainstream, kind of like what we're doing here. And I think a lot of people do get information from TikTok, and I don't think the government likes that because the United States government can't control TikTok.
I would say yes and no. Like,
All right, let's hear it.
because I could see that. I could see that. And I understand Ian's point. My concern with TikTok is more so what's being done to the minds of the people that are using TikTok and how it's been designed. It's scientifically proven. The app has been designed to make people addicted, to force people into very terrible habits. Fuck, they can control a whole damn population with it. I'm like, the Chinese government really put a lot of time into making sure that this thing was successful.
But is that really a TikTok exclusive thing?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not in a sense. But what concerns me is the fact that the CCP has that much power within that social media platform, and then you see the version of TikTok that's being aired in China versus what's being aired in the United States.
Look, I get that, but let's take that a step further.
Right.
How do we not know that the version of Facebook that we get is not drastically different than the version they get in China?
Well, that's because it is.
Okay, so again, that's not a TikTok problem. That's a United States problem. That's a national security problem. That's a cybersecurity issue. And again, the same thing. Dude, I could go on Google right now and say I'm looking for a pair of shoes or, you know, a vacation spot, right? Like, it happened to me, right? When I was looking to go on vacation before I went to Mexico, right? I Google searched, like, you know, trips to Cancun. And then as soon as I went on Instagram, it was Cancun getaways, 4 nights, you know, Facebook, same thing. So all of these apps really have way too much access to your thing. And there's a whole thing, about going in your settings and turning it off.
Agreed. The one thing that you're missing, though, is that the CCP has a lot of control in that organization. And that is the problem. That is a national security threat. It's not the app and what the app actually does, per se. It's the fact that the CCP has that much control over the company. You know what I mean? It's like that's very concerning. It's like, now, if that information's coming in, let's say TikTok was a South Korean company, right, where they're not subject to all the crazy stuff that's going on in China, where the CCP takes X amount of percentage of your corporation, right?
Right.
If all that was going, I highly doubt anybody would be saying anything. In fact, if this app was in China and the Chinese government wasn't able to do that either, I don't think anybody would be saying anything. I think it's because the CCP has that much control that if they've got that kind of control and they're collecting this data, who say that the CCP is not using it for nefarious reasons?
Yeah, but what data could they be collecting?
Everything that's on your phone.
Yeah, but okay, again, I'm playing devil's advocate with you
I get your
for the
point.
sake of the argument. Could the American government not be doing the same thing? Are they not doing the same thing?
By proxy, yes. If you're talking about with Twitter, let's take a Twitter thing for example. But still, the major primary difference is the government does not control these organizations.
Yes and no, because again, when we looked at a company like Meta that's in bed with the government, basically giving millions and millions and millions of dollars to Democrat campaigns to censor certain information about the election, right? So we're mad that China is censoring information, that China is giving certain information to our kids, but the American government's doing the same thing.
But that's not what the argument is. That's not the argument that's being made about the national security threats of TikTok. The national security threats of TikTok is the fact that the CCP has the ability to control that data. That is it. That's literally it.
I think everything else is
no. That's literally it. That's literally it. Because like you said, none of these apps are any different than what TikTok can do. The fact that government has that much control, like if overnight the CCP, in fact, I'll give you a perfect example. Right, there's an organization called Didi. I was watching the documentary about it not too long ago.
Okay.
Uber tried to expand into China back in, I think, 2016, right?
Right.
They were doing exceptionally well. Then there was a Chinese company that came up called Didi that was basically Uber, the exact same thing.
Okay.
It did so fucking well that the CCP invested a lot of money into the organization and even took ownership of that company, right, and helped it expand. The owner of Didi wanted to expand outside of China and across the world to eventually overtake Uber. The CCP did not want this to happen. He still tried to take Didi public, and overnight, the CCP practically pulled all their fundings and damn near collapsed the entire organization.
Look, I'm not here advocating for China.
I get you, but that's the point.
No, I listen. I totally agree with you. I don't like TikTok. If you took TikTok away off my phone, I wouldn't lose an ounce of sleep. I'm only playing it for that banter because, again, I think if we're going to be so mad about Chinese being in control of shit, then let's talk about the fact that China owns 80% of our national debt. Let's talk about the fact that 90%
That's all fiat
of our
to begin with, though.
I get it,
That's all fiat,
let's talk about the fact that 80% of our products before Trump came back in office to manufacture again, we're coming from China. We're being outsourced, right? China literally will buy our garbage and recyclables, melt it down, turn it into products to resell it to us. All the microchips come from China.
You see, but
you know what I mean?
But it's also the same argument with the Huawei 5G antennas, right? So I remember Trump started blasting UK because he's like, "Yo, you're letting Huawei like install their 5G satellites, right?" Honestly, I don't care what anybody says. Trump was 100% correct on that, right? Yeah. I don't care if the government has 2% ownership. The fact that your government has some kind of say in what's in anything at all in regards to the telecommunications and you want to install that in our country, fuck you. Yeah. No way. Like, it's no different than the phone. It's like that's literally the only reason why there's an issue with it.
Again, I agree with you, but again, and this is the last point I'll make. We'll move on. If we have a problem with China having ownership over something, why are we settling so much of our farmland in the Midwest to Chinese nationals?
Well, we're not the ones doing that.
The government is the one leasing out the government land to them.
Yeah, well, who also has the government? But who has the government by the balls?
This is what makes me mad, though, is because people who aren't awake will see shit like this and be like, the government's doing a good job. Fuck TikTok. But we're literally selling our agricultural rights to a company like this and Monsanto.
That doesn't make it right, though.
But it's crazy because you can't be mad at one and not the other.
I'm mad at both.
I'm less mad about kids having access to videos maybe they shouldn't have than the fact that a communist nation has control over our agricultural cycle.
I think they're both equally.
You could go without TikTok. You can't go without food.
I think they're both equally damaging in a sense that it's like, look, you're indoctrinating a whole generation at this point. Right?
I'm just saying you can't be mad at one thing and not the other.
I'm not. I'm mad at both.
Not you. I'm speaking of them. I'm speaking of them.
I can't stand the CCP, bro. If anybody knows me, they know I fucking hate the CCP big time, right?
Love your food. hate your government.
Listen, there's people.
Chinese food
listen,
slaps.
Listen, there's Chinese people that hate the CCP. Okay,
Yeah,
so
they do.
When
That's
you
why
say
they
fuck
come
the
here.
CCP, we're not talking about Chinese people.
I still got a beeper.
He's still got a
what?
Yeah, I still got a beeper. So if you guys want to do a podcast, you have to page me.
Paging Dr. Juan. You son of a bitch. All right,
Anyway,
moving on.
next
moving
topic,
on.
next
I'm sorry,
topic.
I'm fired up. It's hot in here.
All right.
Speaking of people who love to talk about China.
Donald Trump, former U.S. president.
No, wait. So let's give context real quick. So everybody knows that Trump was on the verge of being indicted, or so they said. This was
Verge.
as of literally after our last podcast last
Yeah.
Friday. So this is the article. We chronologically placed this. This was the article from last Friday and how CNN started, and this is the timeline.
Former U.S. President Trump in legal peril.
Dun dun dun.
Sources tell CNN that former President Trump could face indictment in New York as soon as next week. Also, a major development.
I was doing the Law and Order beat
Right?
underneath it.
No, we didn't get the Law and Order beat next time.
time. Bow, bow, bow.
The development into the investigation.
So they wanted to let you know Trump's going down, right? The people,
This is it.
the blue hair crowd
The
was
witchcraft
fired
people
up.
rejoiced all across the
Let's
country.
go down with Trump. All
Right.
right, fast forward to a couple days later.
Right.
Hold on, guys. Even if Trump gets indicted, yes, he still can run for office.
I'm not going anywhere.
So
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
No, but this is CNN, same company, right? I
Uh-huh.
wanted to give you the context,
This was
right?
Wednesday.
Right. So Friday they were like, "This son of a bitch is
He's
going
done.
down.
He's done."
It's over." And now they're like, "All right, hold on. He can still run though." So they were prepping you, right? Because they didn't get the reaction they wanted. They wanted the Trump protest in New York, which everybody knew that was a Fed
Don't go. Yeah,
that's a Fed boy event, bro.
100%.
Everybody there was under 30 and they had their shirts tucked in. They're wearing earpieces.
Feds.
It's Fed
Feds.
boys. Fed boys, right? Now, this was as of today.
March 23rd.
Today.
Trump grand jury will not weigh hush money case for a second
Straight day, right? Last week, Trump is going down. He's going in handcuffs. It's over. Ron DeSantis is going to turn him over like in a burlap sack or something.
Hang on. Let me just read the subheading here at the bottom.
Go ahead.
The Manhattan grand jury weighing whether to indict former President Donald Trump will again not hear evidence, deliberate or vote Thursday in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Court officials told the Post the panel, which has been convening on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, will meet, but to hear evidence in an unrelated case. The sources said.
So again,
Interesting.
Just to play it down, right? And this again, this goes back to TikTok, right? We mad that the Chinese.
You're gonna go back.
No, because again, we have to. I'm about perspective, right? You give me perspective, I take it in.
Okay.
The perspective that China controlling narratives and giving people information is bad, but again, the same news source within 5 days went from this president is going to burn to he might burn but still can run for president to like,
They're
you know what,
full
for
of
the
shit.
second state day, like we're not going to meet. And now everyone's lost their mind. Like, there's some kid that follows me. He's probably watching on Instagram. This kid's like, what? He's like, I'm going to get a tattoo to celebrate Trump being indicted. What should I get? And I responded, delusional across your forehead? Like, I don't know.
Yo,
Like,
bro, you know what?
They were losing their mind.
You know what? That guy, go out there and get a tattoo that says
Do it.
Trump got arrested on
Do
this
it.
day, right?
I'll pay for it.
Right,
I will
because you know what'd
fucking
be
pay
funny?
for it.
Because you know what'd be funny? When it doesn't happen, it's going to be hilarious. Because now you're going to have to explain that to your kids. You're going to have to explain that to your kids that one.
Yeah. No, the only thing Trump...
You have another man's name.
The only thing Trump is
on
ever
your
going to get
chest.
arrested is your mental capacity to function as a human being.
Unfortunate.
So now we move on. So, right, and before we go to the video clip that we have, Trump went on Truth Social and basically was like, this guy, Alvin Bragg, the DA, who, guys, in case you don't know this, ran his entire campaign on, I will indict Trump if I'm elected.
That's what he ran on?
That was literally his campaign, like
Really?
his sell point. The way,
Oh,
like, Biden ran on,
I
like,
did not know
COVID.
that.
The way Murphy ran on, if taxes are your problem, New Jersey's not your state.
Nah, he ran on weed,
How did
bro.
he win on that?
He ran on
Before
weed.
we play that, but how did Phil Murphy go?
He ran on weed, bro. That's
He ran
how
on
won.
weed. You got fucking played. It was coming anyway.
Stupid people voted for
Stupid.
that.
Where's the button? Stupid.
Listen, man.
Juan don't even got it no more.
You don't know.
If you don't, so
Wrong button.
So you fucked me up here. Okay. So what was I saying?
You were talking about.
I know something.
Play the video one.
No. Wait. Before you play the video, so they basically they led you down this rabbit trick. The DA ran on.
Oh, right,
the
right,
DA
right. That's right,
ran
that's
on.
right, that's right.
I'm going to indict Trump. Doesn't matter. Now, mind you, this whole Stormy Daniels case, the federal prosecutor said no. The state prosecutor said no. But you want me to believe that the DA of Manhattan is going to prosecute this case with zero real evidence? You know, forget the fact that a newsletter. You know why they're not prosecuting? Because there's a letter that came out from Cohen, who is the lawyer, who admitted.
Didn't he get locked up?
The guy that was going to run for president that's
He
doing
was gonna
12
run-
years
he
in
got
federal
locked up.
prison. You know why? They found an article that he gave Stormy Daniels the money. He paid her the fees, the fines, because it was all bullshit. It was all
Really?
manufactured crisis. So Trump basically called this guy a George Soros-backed animal.
As he is.
As he is. Now, here's the Main Street, because, look, he was supposed to go to jail. Now he can run. Now we're not answering questions. This was today on MSNBC. Play the clip.
They said it's dangerous to talk
personal
about Soros.
terms. Just since we've been on the air, he posted on his social media platform calling DA Alvin Bragg a Soros-backed
animal. Ready? Wait.
Wow.
Wow.
Unheard of.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Look how offended he is.
The fake outrage.
Garrett Haake thing. Wow.
Wait, ready?
Wow, that's
It gets worse.
even for him.
I mean, he's just going full Nazi here.
Full Nazi.
Fascist. You're
Going
doing
full
the
Nazi.
whole Jewish international banker thing. And,
What the hell?
and-
Pause for a
and
second. Wait, what?
dehumanizing-
Bring that back. What
Bring
the
it
hell
back.
is he talking about?
First of all, Alvin
I wish
Bragg
you guys on Instagram-
Bragg is a black man,
Hang
is he
on for a
not?
second. For the guys that can't hear this right now, click the link that's in my story, linktree/reviveamerica.com, so you can actually listen to this live on Rumble. I mean, live on YouTube and on Facebook.
Yep.
Because bring that back. What the hell did this guy say?
Well, first of all, context. The DA is a black man.
Right.
So what is
Right.
Okay, so go play.
That's
play.
why I'm like, wait, say that
Play
again.
the tape.
Play that again.
Animal.
Okay.
Wow.
And
He's
this is
just going-
Garrett Haake thing. Wow. Joe.
Owen
Wow,
Wilson
that's,
voice. Wow.
Even
Wow.
for him.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what he sounds like.
I mean, he's just going full Nazi here, full fascist. You're doing the whole Jewish international banker thing and
Wow.
and
Wow.
dehumanizing him as an animal, calling him an
You can go
animal.
overtime
Yeah,
much.
that's right out
That's
of the,
ugly.
It's right out of the playbook. That,
all been ugly.
Yeah, that's really ugly. But it's really interesting to see exactly what's happening with Bragg. He hasn't taken the bait.
They have
Trump
no
said what
emotion
he
when they
said
say
on
this shit.
Sunday,
God, cut
but
him.
Bragg
Cut him.
said
I don't want to
absolutely-
listen to these
All right,
losers
it's enough
anymore.
of these sheeps.
But do you again? So and look, I was just at an
personal
event.
terms.
That's enough out of you.
I was just at an event, right? And we met some people who were on the other side, and they said the exact same shit, right? Everything was fascism. Everything
Pause.
was
Did you
not
get clips?
I got clips.
You should have put the clips on air.
That's all right. I didn't. But everything is fascist. Everything is Nazi. Everything is
For the people that don't know where you were the other day, let them know.
So I went to just to see. Look, I went to see Candace Owens speak. She was in New Brunswick, right? Look, I'm love my girl Kim. That's our girl. But Candace was in town with Charlie Kirk, and I said, you know what? I want to hear what they got to say.
Yeah.
And of course, you show up there, and there's like 30 Antifa waiting outside, and
Screeching.
and you know what? And here's the thing again to the conservatives, right? The Give Me Liberty crowd. Y'all don't help the situation. They just yell back, right? So you have one side that's like, oh, fascism, you guys suck. And the other one's like, get a job, you loser. And like, you guys just yell at each other. You're like two drunk old men on the corner. So I said, you know what? I've been to enough of these events. That like standing on the corner, right? It's why we ran for office. Standing on the corners and protesting with masks on our faces to hide our identity doesn't do shit.
dumb.
Does dumb. So you know what? Some girl looked at me and she was like, "Death to fascism." She was holding this big sign, said, "Death to fascism." And I was like, "I agree with you." And she muddled something. I couldn't hear it under her KN95 mask. So I walked up to her.
KN95.
Yo, real talk. Shout out to the Antifa table. All they had, shit you not, was 4 boxes of KN95 and two things of water.
Bro, that indoctrination's got to be
They brought
wild, bro,
KN95 masks and Poland Spring. Not even Poland Spring. It was the Pure Life, the Nestle, the cheap shit. The cheap shit. The Walmart garbage. Anyway, so I went over to her and I was like, I agree with you. And she goes, how could you be standing on that side of the fence and agree with me? And I said, hold on a second. How could you be on that side of the fence and agree? Now, I'll give you some context. And I said to her, first of all, you want to talk about fascism? I said, you're standing on the side. And again, I don't disagree with anybody's right to protest. I'm going to say that first and foremost. But there was literally a guy with a flag and a sign that said Trans Lives Matter standing next to a guy with the communist hammer and sickle flag.
Yeah, no.
And I said, you do realize communist countries literally, we will kill you for being gay.
They will
Let
kill
alone
you.
being trans. You're not accepted at all. So, number one, those two ideologies conflict. I said, you're literally screaming. You called 3 Indian guys that were standing here white Nazis.
What?
I said, you guys are all messed up. So I had a conversation with her. And I just talked to her the same way me and you were talking. I'm like, do you understand like how conflicting this ideology is? You call it fascism while you're chanting what they're telling you to chant, while wearing a mask, holding a sign about ending fascism, while you're literally doing what fascism is about, suppressing people's rights to hear and think for themselves. So she was like, and then people started listening. People started coming up, and I had a really good conversation with her. I said, listen, here's the reality. You don't need to agree with me. I don't need to agree with you. And I said, and I know this is a big part of both what me and you run on and what we stand for, is that what they don't want us to do is have a conversation.
Right.
They don't want the left and the right to come to the table and, so what? We might not agree on everything. So what? You might hate Trump. I might hate Biden, whatever it is. But the real problem isn't us. It's not Democrat. It's not Republican. It's big tech, big pharma, big government.
Yep.
Big spending. Because I said, you want to know something funny? While I'm out here just, going to see what this speaker has to say, you are yelling at me thinking you're doing something. And as you stand here, the world is still turning. Yeah. The world is still turning. The people who are making the decisions, the people you're really mad at, are still working. I said, you know what? They don't want us to talk. And as soon as I said that, some guy in all black, he must have been the head guy for the Antifa movement. He looked real scary.
Hey, get away.
He said, don't talk to him.
He's telling you too
and
many
I
facts.
looked, and she looked at him through a side eye, and she looked back at me. I go, do you see what I'm saying? All I said, and it was a 20-minute conversation I had with her. I said, all I'm asking is that you think for yourself. And I walked away, and people were coming up to me. And that girl, she gave me a fist bump. And I was like, I think for a 19-year-old girl, I opened her world to something completely different. Because, I didn't yell at her. I'm not giving you that energy. Let's talk. What are you mad about? This girl told me, I said, if you want to be a liberal, that's up to you. She goes, I'm not liberal. I support communism. I said, how do you support communism? I said, my family's from Cuba. We escaped communism. She goes, I just want everybody to be free. And I said, so you...
so what about the Cubans, you fucking idiot?
I said, so you want freedom for everyone and then believe that a government that tells you how much you can own, what kind of food you could eat, where you could work, how you can get medical care, what you make for a living is fucking freedom? And she was like, again, blew her mind, because you know what? These liberal professors, and if you're out here and you're a liberal professor, that probably told them to go to that rally. Like, you guys want some extra credit points? Shake up the Charlie Kirk crowd. Stop them, right? You guys indoctrinate them to believing that this is a reality, and it's not, and it's sad. And I'm glad that I went, and but I think that's what needs to be done. People like me and you need to go to these events. You know what? You want to yell on either side, fine, but I want to go and talk to those that want to actually talk and have a conversation, because I can guarantee you that girl went home and contemplated her whole fucking life.
She probably did.
19 years old, being indoctrinated to believe that communism works and that, communist countries don't hate gay people and that fascism is only okay if you're yelling at the people that you think are fascist.
You should have told her to research Che Guevara, man.
I did.
Oh, Che Guevara. Oh, okay. So I was like, check out what Che hated black people.
I also told her to look up
Jekyll's
Jekyll's Island, where the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers met.
Oh,
she told me she was saying free market capitalism was bad, and I said no. Corporate capitalism is bad.
Correct.
And she was like, "Yo, I was watching fireworks go off in this young girl's head. If you're watching this young girl, I hope I made a difference. If not,
she's fist bumping the screen.
She's fist bumping the screen in her mask. What's up?
Her mask. Now she probably took it off, bro. I hope you red pilled, ma'am.
She did. I red pilled her.
Good.
I gave her a dose, at least a dose. She got her first dose.
First dose.
Yeah.
Just come back for a booster now.
Yeah.
Come back for the booster.
So,
why Biden's not talking about Trump's potential indictment?
Why?
There's no blueprint for what a sitting president would do when a predecessor is charged with a crime, and aides see possible risks and rewards on the cusp of a re-election.
Right. So if you can't see this on our phones, it's basically saying why is Biden being so quiet about Trump's indictment?
He has no idea.
I've got the fact he doesn't know what fucking planet he's on. But I cited some examples, and now this is for my buddy. This is my friend I went to camp with. His name's Justin Harvey. He's in the military. He's in the Army. Thank you for your service. But he used to have a saying when somebody would say something, he would go, "Yo, dog, shut the fuck up." And that's exactly what Joe Biden is doing right now, because let's roll the tape and go to the next slide.
He's got nothing to say?
No. Hunter Biden used FBI mole named One Eye to tip him off about China probes.
There's no way that guy's name is One Eye.
One-Eyed Willie.
Like Corn Pop, the bad dude?
Yo, Joe Biden hangs out with the best characters. All right, next slide.
Wait, hang on back.
No,
because I want to read that last bit. I got to figure.
Oh, all right.
Hunter Biden had an FBI mole named One Eye who tipped off.
He tipped off the.
Hang on, wait. Hunter Biden had an FBI mole named One Eye who tipped off his Chinese business partners that they were under investigation, according to an Israeli energy expert arrested in Cyprus last month on gun running charges.
So we're informing our team in China, who's been paying us, that they're getting probed. Next slide. No, wait, we're gonna get through them all, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Biden's office tried to quash Bloomberg's story when Bloomberg ran for president about the Hunter Biden story, right? And there's a timeline of Chinese business ventures where they had $360 something thousand to one of the companies. Yeah, the daughter Biden got money. Hunter Biden got money. $1.6 million was just labeled Joe.
I'm gonna go through the chain of events. So March 1st, 2017, the head of an affiliate of a Shanghai-based CEFC wires Robinson Walker LLC $3 million. Then on the 2nd of March 2017, the following day, Rob Walker wires roughly. You can't make this up, bro.
To Hunter Biden.
I know. I'm reading this right now. Like, you can't make this. Rob Walker wires roughly a third to Hunter Biden. Literally the following day.
Yep.
Associate James Giller founded firm European Energy and Infrastructure Group. Then between the days of the 6th and the 18th of
they
that
found
same
that
month,
that company was linked to Joe. That
Right.
the daughter got $25,000 from Robinson Walker, and then the company was found out to be linked to Joe Biden's brother,
James
and then another one that just labeled it Biden, $70,000. Who'd that go to? So all this money that's going around, you got your son hiring Chinese. Go to the next slide. Biden's approval rating is now at, according to Fox News,
The lowest.
38%. It's the lowest approval rating in I think recent history. So Biden signs this COVID-19 Origin Act, right, to distract, because we've always talked about distraction tactics, right? So now Biden's on the Republican side of the aisle.
We need to find out
where the China virus came from.
We know where it came from.
Because his approval rating's in the low. What's the next slide? That's it. So again, it goes back to a case of, well, why isn't Biden saying anything about Trump? Because it's,
If he
dog,
does,
shut
shut
the
up.
fuck up.
If you do,
because
it's over.
Because your whole family is corrupt. You got money coming out your wazoo from China. Your son is informing people about what's going on, and you're trying to cover up. Don't you think it's great that we all know COVID came from China?
100%.
We've seen millions of dollars just on the screen go to the Biden family from where?
From freaking China.
From China.
The craziest part is they were bold about it, too.
Wait.
They didn't even try and hide it.
And now the administration that's gotten the money from the place that we know COVID origin from is now investigating it.
Ain't that something? Ain't that something?
Bruh.
Damn, son.
So Biden is actually doing something I could agree with for the first time, and that's shutting your mouth.
Yeah.
Because you don't
Now
want
would
to
be a good
open
time
this.
for that.
Now would be a good time for you to go to Delaware again and ride your bicycle. Clown.
Fall over again.
Huh? Moving on. Hey, where's the if you don't know, now you know noise?
And if you don't know,
Now you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys, if you don't know, you should know now. The Revive USA shop
What's
is
that,
now
Billy?
up. ReviveUSA.com is our website. You can go on there, sign up, join our newsletter. We've also got tons of merch. If you go to the next slide, we got tons of merch. You can go and check it out on there. Get some shirts, get some T-shirts, look sexy, look beautiful, and be patriotic. Everything that you purchase from our site helps to support the podcast. It supports us. It keeps the lights on, and it keeps the Fed off of our backs.
And it's made in America.
Made in America. Only in America.
Only in America.
Printed in America. Shipped in America. Believe me.
We bring it to you directly.
I don't. USPS. United States Postal
USPS.
Service will bring it to you. Okay?
Also, if you didn't catch our message in the beginning, follow us on Rumble. We are tired of being censored by YouTube.
Yes.
Our last episode got pulled down off YouTube.
Yeah. If you go to the next slide, you can even show them.
Show them. That's not the next slide.
Demons. Okay. Go to the next one.
The next one.
Okay. Never mind. Looks
Speaking
like
more of
there was
China.
some technical
But
difficulties.
follow us on Rumble.
Yes.
Follow us. It's all right. Follow us. They even took down our slide.
That's how it is like on the news. Like when someone passes out, they just change cameras. In other
Right,
news.
dude. You see that video the other day? There was the meteorologist was standing there, and they're like, "We're going to Ashley for the weather," and she's like, and just
faints?
smacked her face on the desk, and they're like, "We're gonna take a commercial break." Like, no.
Okay. Well, we don't know what happened there.
But anyway, follow us on Rumble at what is it? Revive
Revive
America?
US America. Rumble.com. Rumble.com.
Tell your friends.
Revive US America.
Tell your grandma. You know your grandma's conservative. She don't do nothing.
Right.
Tell her to
She's
follow us.
Your grandma's more patriotic than you.
Yeah. She
You're letting her down.
She said, "Come and take it."
Yeah. That's terrible.
Why?
The way it came out.
Hey.
The pause.
Hey. Sorry, grandmas.
Don't say that about people's grandma.
Damn, son.
Damn, son.
So we all know that President Xi Jinping
GG.
and Vladimir Putin,
Putin.
they had a summit. They met together.
Yeah, and the thing that's pissing me off is the media is not really talking too much about
Why
it. They'll
would
make
they
these little
ever
tiny
do that?
articles here and there, but they don't really talk about this in the way that they should.
So for those of you that didn't know, the president of China and the president of Russia, both two communist countries, both major superpowers when it comes to their military size, their nuclear capacity, all that. They've met in the midst of, obviously.
Wait, Russia's not communist, though.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not. It's a capitalist country.
Are you lying to me right now?
Russia's capitalist. Russia's not communist anymore, bro. China's still communist with a capitalist element.
Does Russia hold elections for their president?
Yeah, they do.
They do?
They do.
How long's the term?
It's fucking 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Vladimir's not going nowhere.
He's not, because he was prime minister, then he was president, and he keeps shuffling it around.
They could say they're not, just like China says they're not communist.
No, they say they're communist. They're CCP, Chinese Communist Party.
Whatever.
They
I
say
still
they're
think Russia's communist. It's still Cold
It's not
War time
communist.
for me.
It's not communist.
All right. Well, their circle would speak otherwise.
I would say they're probably more like an oligarchy, but they're
Like,
not a
Billy, if I hung out with like a bunch of skinhead people and I was like, dude, I'm not a skinhead, you'd be like, I don't know, man. You hang out with a bunch of
that doesn't mean
skinheads.
you're a skinhead, bro.
I don't like skinheads, for the record.
That's fine.
Anybody
I know
watching?
you
Someone
don't.
screen grabbed that and was like,
You're like, look at Dave.
Billy's
hangs
not
with
even
them.
black. He's in blackface. No, fuck all that. But anyway, China and Russia met, and now there is the only article that we really saw was talking about how there's no path to peace.
Right.
Talking about how Russia and China are going to become these superpowers that are going to basically dictate how the globe runs and how war runs and how weapons are manufactured and blah, blah, blah. And it basically means that Ukraine is screwed because China is going to get involved.
Yeah. See,
I don't disagree.
the part that, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this when we get into the whole BRIC situation, but the future's looking pretty bleak for the United States right now, man.
If it hadn't been already, 11 episodes in.
It's looking really
It's
bad.
getting worse.
It's looking really bad, and I think it's primarily because there's a lot of, like you said, the people come and take it. We're gonna do this. We're gonna fight. Go up and protect our country. You guys aren't saying anything while our freedoms are being stripped away from us right now, man.
No, they're not. And it's because I think there's a lot of people that believe, like, as long as it doesn't directly affect them, it's fine.
Mark my words, this shit is gonna affect you.
It's gonna.
It's 100%
It's
gonna affect you.
I mean, look, prime example. People forget last summer. You remember there was a car shortage?
Yeah.
There was a motorcycle shortage. There was a computer shortage. There was a phone shortage. You know why?
Why?
All the chips for those
Oh,
things
right.
come from where?
China.
So we now have a supply and demand crisis. Again, China holds 30% almost 3/4 of our national debt, which for the record is $35 trillion almost, right? So think about it. China has $28 trillion worth of American debt over our head.
I mean, that debt is irrelevant at the end of the day. I mean, because it's like, while they do own it, it's like at the same time, China is not gonna fucking cut our balls off at the end of the day. They still need the United States in order for them to stay afloat. What's more concerning to me, and I think that's what we're going to talk about in the next slide, is the BRICS union that's being created right now.
Let's check out the
that
next
gives
slide.
a little bit more clarity with this. Actually, this is a tremendous deal right here.
I'll let you
and
take
let me bring
it.
this up. So no one really spoke much about this on the media, and I couldn't really find anything except for NPR talking about this. The headline, if you guys can't see this on Instagram, the headline says, rivals Saudi Arabia and Iran restore ties with China's help.
China.
Here's why it matters, all right? So for those of you guys that don't know, there's two predominant sects of the Muslim faith and the Islamic faith, the Sunni and the Shia, right? So Saudi Arabia and Iran, they're both Sunni Shia nations. They're completely at odds. And
Right.
it's been this way for a very, very long time. This is just as historic as the Abraham Accords that President Trump did when he made the peace in the Middle East with Israel. The problem here now is Iran and Saudi Arabia never worked together. Saudi Arabia was always an ally of the United States, ally in the sense that the United States will protect them. They'll be able to control the dollars, the OPEC system,
Right.
and they'll be able to prop up the dollar. Now, China's gotten into the mix and said, hey, we're going to make a deal with Iran. They were able to broker that deal where they're willing to work together. They're about to start opening embassies in between each other's countries.
Wow.
Here's why this is important and why this is actually a pretty critical thing. Since the United States dollar is the world reserve currency, and that is the only currency that can be used to transfer the U.S. dollar and petroleum, it's what props up our petrodollar system, right? Saudi Arabia utilizes this. Now that they're working with China, and China is also working on behalf of Russia, India, South Africa, and Brazil with the BRICS nation, they're looking to move away from the United States dollar and start trading oil in the yuan. What does that mean? That means that if this happens, the United States dollar is going to go down very, very quickly. It's going to become practically worthless. The dollar is completely fiat. It's based in nothing. It's not backed in gold. It was initially backed up in the petrodollar, which is why it went to many different wars and overthrew countries and took over their oil fields, because the world's always going to need energy. And so long as the world needs energy, they're always going to need the American dollar. But if you can get rid of the American dollar and replace that with China, and China also owns almost $30 trillion. I mean, I don't know what the hell the number was.
Almost like $28 trillion.
Like, let's say $28 trillion. I don't know the exact number, but $28 trillion in your national debt, that debt becomes worthless literally overnight. Because for one, they're already purchasing gold. They're stockpiling. Russia's purchasing gold. They're stockpiling. While the United States is going further and further into debt, and we're giving hundreds of billions of dollars to a country like the Ukraine, and we're bankrupting our nation while they're building an entire financial structure that's going to push America away from the table. Now, for many, many years, America has always been the bastion of hope. And I know I'm kind of going on a rant.
Go.
And I'm kind of going on a rant.
Listen, I had my rant about TikTok. You go ahead.
I got to go on a rant here.
This is his rant.
Petrodollar and the fiat currency, boy, I will put you on. You know what they call me out here in these streets?
He's putting me on right now.
You know what they call me out here?
Damn, son.
They call me the on-putter. You know why they call me the on-putter?
The on-putter?
The on-putter.
Why do they call you the on-putter?
Because I put people on.
I put on for my city.
And right now I'm putting you guys on to the petrodollar system. So something like this happening is actually a very big deal.
So
it's a big problem.
I just want to ask a question real quick. I'll let you keep going. So does this basically mean that this could potentially be an economic collapse for the United States as far as our currency goes?
Yeah, the problem is, like, if something like this happens, and now there's also many countries in Africa that are looking to jump into the BRICS union right now.
Right.
If this kicks out the United States dollar, remember, we got no gold. Our dollar's not backed in oil anymore if they start to switch over to the yuan. Remember, Saddam Hussein tried to do this back in 2002, I believe it was.
Killed him.
Right. That 2003, the Shock and Awe campaign happened. We went over there and dropped bombs over Baghdad with B-2 bombers.
9/11 happened.
Had nothing to do with that.
That's another story.
Right. And the thing is, they had nothing to do with that. We went into the Middle East, and then there's some people say, we went to go fight for freedom in Saudi in Iraq. Total bullshit. We were not fighting for freedom over there, man.
Yeah.
Okay. But Saddam Hussein wanted to stop spending. He wanted to stop selling Iraqi oil in U.S. dollars. He wanted to sell it in euros. And we went over there and sent him a can of freedom. And it looks like that game plan is not going to work this time.
No, because you have China, you have Russia, you have Saudi Arabia, Iran. Like, what's happening now is I feel like there's an alliance of, like, NATO versus whoever China and Russia decide to bring into the fold.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
You know what's really this is kind of a little bit of a sidebar, bro, but you ever played you played Call of Duty Ghosts before?
Of course.
You remember the plot, like the story where there was some United Nations type organization that was in Brazil, and that organization got so powerful that all the other nations joined against it, and the United States didn't want to join it. And then that organization hijacked the satellite Odin. They used it on the United States, and they fucking overthrew the country. And then the ghosts had to come and save the country. Blah blah blah. It was all movie, right? It's kind of funny how that's happening right now, but like in a financial sense, bro.
I'm always a firm believer that the things that they show us in TV, movies, video games are precursors. So if it does happen, it's like you're almost kind of like numb to the
it's like
shit.
that movie.
You're numb to it, you know?
Right.
That's not good.
No, that's not good at all.
Well, we'll keep you updated on that one.
Yeah.
But the good thing is if the oil system collapses, we have to just pay yuan and yen.
Yo, Juan, you got us, right?
Damn, son.
Damn, son. Yeah, we're going to start broadcasting in North Korea now. Moving on.
I got you.
I got you.
Bet. His name's Juan, so you got the money.
Well, so now we're talking about paper money being worth nothing.
Yes.
Leads us into this segment.
Yes. Now, this is another very important one that you guys might want to pay attention to if you haven't heard about the CBDC.
I'll read it, and I'll let you explain it.
Sure. Go ahead.
The Board of Governors Federal Reserve System, which, by the way, the Federal Reserve is not part of the federal government.
Correct.
Central banking digital currency. While the Federal Reserve has made no decisions on whether to pursue the imminent of a central bank digital currency, or CBDC, they have been exploring potential benefits and risks. Yada, yada, yada. The domestic, the CBDC, generally defined as digital liability of the central bank, is widely available to the general public, basically talking about cryptos and other things like that. The Federal Reserve Board has issued a discussion paper that examines the pros and cons of a potential U.S. CBDC. As part of this process, sought public feedback on a range of topics. So basically, Billy just talked about, and I'm going to let him explain it a little more, but he basically just said that China's doing everything in its power to take oil backing away from money, which would make American money virtually worthless.
Correct.
And now here's the America trying to jump into the digital currency market.
Now, this is the scary thing about this is like I remember when Bitcoin first hit the scene around 2008, 2010. And I was skeptical about it because I'm like, it's going to be like a one world currency, man. Like this is like I understand the technology and how it works and it's decentralized, so they say. But I always saw cryptocurrency as like a precursor to what could be, right? If you've read the Bible, they talk about the mark of the beast and unifying everybody under one unified system. You can't buy, sell, or do anything without having the mark of the beast in your right hand or in your forehead. The same thing I see going on here with the Chinese the Chinese credit score system. Right. With the CBDC, basically what it's saying is the same way our dollars are fiat. They're not backed in anything. Rather than using a system like that to prevent an imminent collapse, they want to create a digital version of that currency, similar to a cryptocurrency. So imagine, right, you might have noticed that you go to certain stores and certain banks and they only take credit cards, they only take debit. Some banks don't have cash, they don't have coins for some freaking reason.
Coin shortage.
Coin shortage.
It's in all your grandfathers, they got that water jug in their closet. That's where all the coins are.
Go and raid his closet.
Give it up, Grandpa. Give me your coins.
All those, so there's all these coin shortages, there's these dollar shortages because they're trying to push everybody to this digital currency. If you have a digital currency like this in your hand and you're using your phone, right, at any time, let's say guys like us, right, if the entire dollar implodes and they put this system in place, we have to use this because it's the only way that we can continue to do business. If you and I start talking a bunch of stuff against the CCP or Joe Biden or anything we're talking about, we just did that episode episode 9, we were talking about January 6th, and that episode got taken down on YouTube. If the government, for whatever reason, said
for sharing surveillance footage.
Even worse, they could say this, right? Well, you're aiding and abetting terrorist actions or whatever the fuck they want to say. They can literally make that up. You're spreading misinformation. Whatever the government wants to say, they can use it as an opportunity to cut off your bank account, take off your money, and use it against you. And if you go to this next slide, thankfully, we have some politicians with some scrotums that are actually fighting against this. Ron DeSantis, who I'm still a little bit questionable about right now.
I'm a little iffy about you, Ron.
Still iffy. Good move here, but I'm still iffy about you. Ron DeSantis goes after the digital currency in an effort to ban the federal effort.
So he's urging Florida lawmakers to pass a bill that would ban federal digital currency in his state, calling it an attempt to push woke ideology.
It's more than woke ideology. It's one foot in the door to the New World Order. Go to the next slide. And I'm not talking about New World Order with Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. I'm talking about like the other shit.
That would be cool.
That would be, but that's what like we were talking about before. It's like, oh yeah, like that's like that movie. That's like that faction in wrestling. I remember those guys. Not a New World Order, something else. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz also proposes a CBDC ban amid growing Republican pushback. Republican Senator Ted Cruz proposed legislation late Tuesday to block a central bank digital currency from being issued in the United States, joining a crowd chorus of prominent GOP politicians pushing back against the idea.
So now, I have my opinions on this because I'm into crypto, right? Like I have crypto miners, like because
keep in mind this is different from crypto.
No.
Okay, yeah.
It is and it isn't at the same time, right? Now, hear me out.
Okay.
Because what is crypto other than digital currency? The only reason that crypto has value is why? Because we put the value in it, right? You can't really do shit with it. Look, a Bitcoin right now is $28,000. What the hell can you do with a Bitcoin other than sell it for what? U.S. dollar, right? Sell it
or
for
gold. You can convert it to gold.
Okay, but the cryptos are starting to make money. Crypto was up to, especially Bitcoin, was up to almost 64,000 like 8 months ago. What happened? Why did
64,000?
64,000 per Bitcoin, dude.
8 months ago? No, longer than that, bro.
It was like
about
a year.
About a year and a half ago, yeah.
No,
dude.
I could look it up, but I'm online.
This is like 2020 or something.
No way.
Yeah,
no way.
bro.
Because I
64,000.
It was up to 64,000. I'm telling you,
it was like 40,000 at that point.
It was because at that point I had bought Ethereum like a year ago, and it was like 4,000, and now Ethereum's
Post
at 18.
it in the comments. We'll argue next week.
We'll argue it next week. But here's the thing. But at one point it was at 64,000.
Right. I remember that.
It crashed down to a low of like 16. Why? Does anybody know why?
Skepticism, man.
It got banned in China. So now what you're saying makes sense.
What do you mean it got banned in China?
Cryptocurrency trading, Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Ethereum
I remember that.
were banned in places like China, India, and Russia. And now I think it was something like 60% of all Bitcoin was being mined and processed in China. And now it kind of makes sense when you tie it into how China is trying to now put their dollar behind oil and take over. And again, one thing without the other. Now America's trying to get into this digital currency amid a crisis where we might lose our dollar backing. You know, you start to ask yourself the questions.
That just gave me a really insane idea, bro. I don't think the United
Start a crypto?
No.
Oh, all right.
I don't think the United States would do it. I don't think they would do it. But if they do it first, they're fucking smart. Rather than dealing with the CBDC crap, make Bitcoin the currency.
Damn. No, do you know what the problem is you would have to do a different one. I get what you're saying on crypto. No, Bitcoin it's too the price of it's too high.
I get it, but the thing is, you can still you're not buying with one whole entire.
Yeah, but then
Bitcoin.
you're doing fractional. It's like an entirely new math system you have to create.
Right, but it's the same exact thing though. At the end of the day, because if you look at it this way, CBDC, for example, right? We've got this new digital currency, and we want the whole world to use it. Fuck you.
Yeah,
we got this currency, Bitcoin. The whole world's already using it.
I get it. No, I get what you're saying, but me personally, especially as far as CBDC goes, look, I don't like the way the government runs the DMV. I don't like the way they run the welfare system. I don't like the way they run the healthcare system. I don't like the way they're running the country. Let alone do I want them to be in charge of my money. Right, we're already paying an astronomical amount for federal income tax, and then you pay tax on the food that you buy and all this other shit that you get. Tax. And now they're going to be in charge of the money system. I don't like it. I think the American government saw the popularity of crypto. They saw the popularity and the amount of money that they could make. Because, again, you know what happened when a lot of these things, what happened is they call them whales, right? People who own large chunks of these stocks. They manipulate the price,
right,
and then they let it go high, and they dump it. And then when everybody panics, they sell it out, and then the whales swoop down, they buy it again, and they let it rise.
Correct.
And I don't want the federal government anywhere near something like that.
See, but the same thing's being done with the dollar as we speak with Forex, though. Literally the exact same thing.
Again, yes, and to a different degree. We already know what the dollar is worth. It's been around long enough.
No, but I'm saying, it's to the exact same degree. The only reason why the dollar stabilizes is because there's that much trading volume within the currency that it's happening. That's the only reason why it's able to stabilize.
But I think with a newer technology, with something that we're not as familiar with, I think it would be a lot easier to be manipulated.
No, because Bitcoin's already existed for well over a decade.
But we're not talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about whatever America wants to
create.
Right.
Screw that.
Bitcoin is a different animal.
Right. That's why I know this is going to fail. This CBD thing is 100% CBD. CBD.
It is CBD.
Hey,
yeah.
CBD's
that's why I thought we were talking about weed on the show.
I know. That's why I had to stop and read it again. And I was like, oh, it is CBDC.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm saying is like if
son.
If the United States government adopted Bitcoin as like their reserve currency, for one, they can't manipulate it. You can't just pop some out of nowhere like we're doing currently with our existing dollar. But if we're able to shift our entire banking system to that, will they do it? I doubt it.
But they would also have to change their entire mentality of how they spend, because I don't know if you're aware of this. The number of Bitcoin has already been capped.
Correct.
There is no more.
Correct. But
America is in the process of like, let's just print more.
Which is exactly why the United States needs to shift now.
Well, that's why I think we should have went back to the gold standard.
I get it, which I don't, and I agree with you 3,000,000%. I'm a Ron Paul guy 100%. But if that's not going to happen, Bitcoin is the next best thing. And the only reason why I say it is because the entire world is already using it right now. If they're, like you said, since it's capped, the same way China's buying up all the freaking gold, if they buy up all the Bitcoin, it's already universally respected. If someone doesn't want to participate in the BRIC system for whatever reason, it could always go back to Bitcoin. And if the United States take advantage of that right now, we'd have the large majority of the share. We'd still be able to maintain that hegemony if we do it.
If the feds are listening and you are going to adopt a crypto,
do it.
Do a Shiba Inu or
no,
Baby Doge.
That,
bro, I got 14 million
that
Baby
shit's
Doge.
Not going to the moon.
Yeah, but
bro.
I'm saying if the government picked it up, imagine Joe Biden's like, listen, I knew a guy one day back in the and you know the thing, and blacks and whites stocking shelves in supermarkets. We bought Baby Doge, and people would go crazy. Baby or Shiba, one of those. I got shares, bro. All I need is if that hit $1, I'm retired. I ain't doing no podcast, bro. I'm buying a TV station and shooting this live. I'm buying the Morning Joe on MSNBC and all the equipment, and I'm buying Rachel Maddow just to fire her.
Just get rid of her.
Buy. But yeah. Listen, if you're going to buy a crypto, buy one I got a lot of. I got like 0.02 Bitcoin.
I never even heard of that shit.
You know what? Billy going to never hear about that shit, because one day he's going to be like, where's Dave? On my fucking island that I bought with Baby Doge. That's it. Buy it. Listen, for right now, for $10, you could buy a couple 100,000. Do it. If it goes up, you make some money.
See, this guy's like doing FEC violations right now.
So?
Like, he's trying to pump the coin live on
Pump that coin to the few hundred people watching. Buy Dogecoin and Shiba to the moon, dog. Think about it. They're pushing the crypto. Look, the Staples Center in Los Angeles is now Crypto.com Arena.
Correct.
And it didn't go anywhere because the government was like, again, right as that happened, China stopped trading Bitcoin and Ethereum and other things like that. And people were like, whoa.
See, but then from the perspective of China, it would make sense to get rid of it as well, too, though. It's like if I'm purchasing a bunch of gold and I'm about to do this whole BRICS thing, I don't want anybody using a Bitcoin.
No, but that's what I'm saying to you is that's why it all makes sense now.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It took a year to get to it, but it finally drew it together of why would China ban Bitcoin? It's making tons of money.
Right.
And now we turn around and they just did a deal with Iran to try to move their Chinese dollar to back oil. And now it makes sense because you can't, again, a lot of people bought crypto because of their lack of faith in their government's dollar.
Correct.
And now you have no fucking choice but to buy the Chinese dollar.
Correct. But you know what's
Damn,
that's
son.
crazy, bro?
Yo, that's crazy.
I don't believe BRICS would have gotten as far as it did if we didn't have all these shitty trade deals, man. Because I think BRICS was put together in a desperate type of situation where it's like, look, we can't work with the United States. It's like this is Russia and China talking here. We can't work with the United States. They're not going to do any business with us. Brazil's an up and coming emerging market. India's an up and coming emerging market. South Africa's an up and coming emerging market.
Yeah.
Why don't we all come together? We create our own economic system. We push America out. We all start working together. Now all these other smaller countries are trying to pull back into
If there was ever a time to do it, it's under the Biden presidency.
Exactly. So the thing that scares me now is like, even if Donald Trump wins, right? And let's say it's Trump, DeSantis,
when he wins.
Right, but let's say who it is, regardless of who it is after Joe Biden, right? Regardless of who it is. In all honesty, the way that it looks right now, you gotta, because I don't have the answers as of right now, and I typically have the answers for those kinds of things. How would we be able to turn the country back around? And at this point, I think Bitcoin probably would be the only solution, unless the United States is willing to return to the gold standard. Would they do it though? Because at this point, China has more gold than we do right now. You know what I'm saying? So I was like,
there's a lot under the Vatican, but that's another story.
Yeah, but the Vatican's the Vatican. That's not us.
Thing.
You know what I mean? The Vatican's the Vatican.
I know.
You know, it's like if you do change to the gold standard, would that empower China at the same time? You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, you would think that the woke left, right, the Green New Deal type of left, why would they still want their money to be backed by oil?
They wouldn't, and I think that's
that's
why a
where
lot.
we're at.
But that's why a lot of them are in support of this BRICS thing.
I don't like it.
Well, I hear a lot of these from what I'm hearing from like a lot of commentary from like all across the world. I'm not just talking about left leaning in the United States, I'm
right?
Canada, left leaning African posts and stuff. They're all in full freaking support.
Yeah, but you
of
know
this
what?
BRICS
Listen,
thing.
it took me 5 years just to get a decent credit score. I wouldn't want to know what my social credit score would look like, nor do I want to rely on my ability to provide for my family and pay for my things to be on the government and what they think of me as a person.
He said this in 1991.
Bro,
don't give him any
real
money.
talk, bro. I ran a campaign and they were like sending around screenshots. Look what Dave said in 2009. I was like, bro, I was 18. I was 18.
Everyone was stupid,
like,
man.
Bro, I said wild shit.
Everybody.
I went through a phase where all I did was quote Lil Wayne lyrics on Facebook. Like, you gonna hold that against me, bro?
Lil Wayne.
Go deep. Yeah, bro. Lil Wayne in 200009. If you don't know, now you know.
That was peak
bro,
Lil Wayne.
Mixtape Wheezy. Stop it. He was on everybody's song.
Peak Lil Wayne. The
Stop.
Drop 3. Best
Drop,
of all
bro,
time.
drop
That was the best
3.
ever, dude. That was the best
If you
ever.
don't know, if you were born after 2005, which
You
some
have
of you
no
might
idea.
be, look it up on YouTube. The Drought 3.
But that brings us to one of our favorite segments of the week. It is time for Sheep of the Week. And this Sheep of the Week goes to
Our friends in China.
China. We were talking quite a bit about the social credit score system. I want you to see just how sheeped out they've got the Chinese people, the Chinese public.
Bro, they're sheeped out.
They're sheeped out, bro.
Bad.
They believe everything that the Chinese government tells them, hook, line, and sinker.
I don't know if they necessarily believe everything
They're
they're told.
probably
They're
afraid.
afraid.
They're
They're afraid, dog.
Yeah, yo,
You
whoa.
saw the videos of
Oh,
what
yeah,
they
the
were
government.
doing to them during
Yeah, that's
COVID, right?
terrible.
They were literally going to apartment buildings and welding the doors shut
Yeah, dude.
to keep people inside.
See, but hang on. But now that you bring that up, bro, a part of me feels like that was Hollywood as fuck, bro. Because do you remember, bro? I remember being at my mom's house, 2019, bro, like Christmas 2019, and they're talking about, oh, this new strain of virus that's killing people, right? And there were videos of people like in China, like I remember there was a guy walking down a block with 2 shopping bags, and he just looked up to the sky. And he just collapsed. And, like, the other people collapsed in the street. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Oh, no, man.
And then there were people here in the United States like, oh, we got trucks and freezers. I feel like a lot of that shit was Hollywood, bro.
Maybe. But anyway, back to what you were saying. Go ahead.
But social credit score, right? Look at how sheeped out these people are. This is what the Chinese government will do to you if they feel that you're not credit worthy to their government. They will
Boom.
put you on blast. They will shut you down. And that's what's going to be coming to the United States if the CBDC gets pushed and this entire digital credit system becomes a reality in the United States. Check it out.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema
People with
names
low
and
scores
shames
lose
people
rights?
considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
Damn.
That's scary.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
They have to be condemned.
Those people aren't
And we're
honest,
going to reiterate
so they
for
have
you
to pay the
on
price.
Instagram. Don't worry.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
He's saying he's scared as
Supreme
fuck.
Court
You can
has
tell. Look at his
created
eyes.
a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped
These
to
are all
zero.
people's phone numbers and
On
addresses
it are companies
that have been blacklisted
but
by the
also
government.
23
Put on
million
blast
people to date.
on billboards for not paying
Among
debts
them
and other
is this
things against
journalist
the
Yu
CCP.
Hu.
All right,
He
that's
got a
enough.
little
That's
too
enough. That's
close
enough.
to uncovering
That's enough.
corruption.
So just to recap for those on IG that couldn't hear it, they basically have a social credit score in China where the people who do good get rewarded and those who don't get blacklisted, put out in public with their names, their phone numbers, where they work,
Right,
and
right.
and they just interviewed a couple people in like the mall or wherever they were, and these people agreed that they should be
condemned.
They should be disciplined.
They should be blacklisted, embarrassed, put in front of public with their faces, their names, and their home address. Imagine that. Imagine walking down the mall one day and you see your face on the billboard, your home address, your phone number, your email, and it says, Joey Blow over here didn't pay his credit card bill of $50 last week.
Or he
him.
spoke ill about the government.
He said Xi Jinping's comb over was too small or something.
He doesn't
stupid.
recycle. He
doesn't
something.
recycle.
It could be.
Right?
Now
he doesn't believe that trans women are women. It's true. They're not, bro. Don't give me that face.
I
They're
was
not.
looking.
They're not.
It was agreement.
Okay, they're not.
You gotta
Damn, son.
Listen. This is not only sheepworthy for the sheer comedic value, but it's also scary at the same time because the people have bought into this. We didn't have time to post it, but the EU, which is Europe, just had a meeting in Parliament where they agreed to start the first of digital IDing system, which they called the Chinification of Europe.
That's what they actually call it?
That was called the Chinification of Europe. Well, one lawmaker referred to it as the
okay.
He was probably like the Kennedy of Europe.
I see.
I love that guy.
I see.
He's nuts. But if you don't think that this is a reality or something that could be coming to a state near you, you are very wrong. And that, again, makes me very afraid. And here's the reality. We started the show talking about one of the biggest, baddest patriots of our day, right? Patrick Henry. Give us liberty or give us death. And we end the segment with a country that's okay with your personal information being blasted online, being told that if you don't do what we deem being correct, right, the government's version of the 10 Commandments in China, we're going to dox you. We're going to take your money. We're going to make it almost impossible for you to live a normal life.
They won't even let you travel. They shut off people's travel cards, man.
But when does it end? And people again will say, "Well, that's not happening in America." Yeah,
it will soon.
Yeah,
if you don't do anything, it will soon. They're already talking about creating this digital currency. How far down the rabbit hole do you think this will go,
bro? What do you mean? It's already started on something. Look, before me and Billy started doing this podcast, and for those of you that on my feed that don't know Billy ran for Congress. He is one badass dude, right? Over 50-something thousand followers on Instagram, 100,000 followers on Facebook, tons of engagement. Me, I'm not as popular as Billy, but I had a couple thousand followers. I'm getting there. I only ran for council. I'm gonna run. Maybe we're gonna have to run for something bigger, like mayor. Who knows?
Go after that guy.
I don't like that guy.
Go after that guy.
Just because he don't like me, so I want to run.
We're gonna make your life difficult. You understand?
We're just gonna show up at council. But anyway, we started doing this podcast, right? And again, Billy's engagement went to nothing. My engagement has gone to nothing. I got people that are like, bro, I don't even see you show up on my feed anymore. They literally got to search my name, go to my page to find me. So if you don't think like, maybe they're not screwing with your money right now, but they're erasing you, right? They are silencing you. Right? Social media, you talked about, you literally said something like, imagine going to a mall and there's a picture of your face and they're saying, Joe Schmo didn't do this. Bro, I ran for council and there was a picture of me outside the 7-Eleven by my house with a SWAT sticker on my head.
What?
Basically calling me with my name, my address, saying that I was a white supremacist Proud Boy. I supported the insurrection. I advocated for, sexual crimes on women. Bro,
What?
nuts. And I sent it to the police, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll do something. But I never heard anything else.
But then if somebody showed up to your porch and you had to punch somebody in the face, you're getting locked up.
Right. So, we want to talk about social credit score. Like, bro, people already do this. People get blacklisted. People get doxxed. People lose jobs, right? Think about how many people were going, these doctors and shit that were going to these Unmask the Kids rallies, or, my body, my choice, I'm not getting vaccinated, or even people that are pro-abortion or pro-life. People go to these rallies on all sides, right? This isn't just a conservative thing, even though I do believe they're targeted more. You'll get doxxed. They'll go to your employer, right? Someone will be like, hey, you know that guy Billy Premper that works for you? That guy's a real lunatic. I saw he was at a rally. He was advocating for his own freedom, and then you're fired. You're terminated. But, we laugh about it, bro, but it's happening. Yeah. Look, I had some shit happen to me a month ago we ain't talked about, bro. You want to talk about losing your... We can't, not yet.
I know.
We can't. But think about it, bro. Your fucking freedoms can be taken from you like that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about giving us liberty or giving us death, and I'm not advocating for violence whatsoever. I'm not advocating for any of that. But y'all have to stand up for your rights. Everybody says, oh, my line in the sand. Bro, you know when my line in the sand was? March 20 of 2020. I did not allow them to move a line for me. I didn't wear no mask. I didn't close my business. I didn't take no vaccine.
Nope.
I wasn't all for this bullshit of making kids all gentrified and they don't know what they're doing and their feelings got them so screwed up.
In a million
My line
years.
has stayed the same for the last 3 years. Can you say the same for yourself?
Not in a million years, bro. Not in a million years that I think that this would ever happen in the United States. Like, if you got a time machine and you went back in time to the year 1995, you told yourself, hey, listen, in the year 2020, they're going to shut down the entire planet. Nothing's going to open back up until people inject themselves with a questionable potion, and we don't know what's going to happen long term. And when the truth comes out of what happened, they're going to bury it.
They won't believe it.
They're going to lie to you.
And the people won't believe it.
And the people won't believe it.
Bro, in 1985, I know it's a movie, but Back to the Future, they were talking about fucking hovering skateboards and flying DeLoreans. You know what we got in 2023? Kids that think they're kitty cats.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, my God, bro. You know what's even crazier, bro? It's like...
kitty cats!
And this should have been Sheep of the Week, but, like, I didn't want to put it on because it was a little bit... That kid, Jazz Jennings. Have you been following that kid?
No.
So Jazz Jennings was the... Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about this one, but it's actually disturbing. Jazz Jennings was the first documented transgender kid, right, who started transitioning at 4 years old.
That's young.
Yeah, kid's 22 now. Their life is a complete abyss right now.
I'm going to touch back on that. Finish. Go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
The kid started transitioning at 4.
Right.
They cut the kid's dick off when he was like 11. Went through the whole surgery, did all that.
I'm just picturing that. Oh my God.
I should have worded it a little bit more polite, but it's kind of crazy.
No, it's true.
Because it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy what they're doing. So they listen. It's not funny because I feel bad for this kid.
It is
bro.
because I'm thinking of something in my head and I'm going to say it. I'm going to let you go.
Oh my God.
At 11? No, I got to say it at 11?
I know.
Bro, me and my thing didn't get tight like this till I was 16. The hell you got rid of it at 11 for? I didn't even know what this thing was capable of until I was 16.
It's not funny.
You cut it off at 11.
Listen. So this kid, oh man, it's terrible. So this kid, 4 years old, they start transitioning this kid. They cut the thing off at 11. They start jacking the kid up.
They're jacking him off?
No, you fool.
Oh.
They start jacking the kid up with... They start giving the kid hormones and stuff like that and preventing the kid from like producing her own...
Preventing puberty blockers.
Right. The kid has never produced normal testosterone in its life, right?
Right.
So there's a clip that's going on Twitter right now, and I'm like, I have no idea how this kid's mother is not arrested for child abuse, bro. Because
what's going on?
Because in the show, right? The show's been going on for about 7 years of documenting this kid's life, whatever, right? The kid is now having complications with the surgery, right? No fucking brainer, okay? He's got tissue that hasn't grown up. Kid's not old enough, right? Now the thing is not staying open, man. So
His
like
fake vagina?
The thing, yeah, I don't know what to call it, bro. The
Rock is in the building. This thing? It keeps closing?
The Rock is in the building.
It keeps closing?
Yes. So the mother was talking to her friends. Like, they're all sitting down drinking mimosas. Like, this is a cute thing to do, whatever. It's like, oh, yeah, Jazz isn't dilating. So I told her, if you don't dilate, I'm going to put this thing inside you and dilate it myself. And she starts talking to the camera, like, totally casual. Like, this is normal. Like, there's been many times where the kid didn't want to dilate, and I had to force the dilation on the child. I'm afraid the kid's going to go to school, and the kid's not going to do it, because if it closes up, I'm going to freaking strangle the child. So this woman's literally on television basically telling the world how you want this to happen to the kid more than the child even wants it to happen. The kid is even starting to express to the mother that, I think I'm actually attracted to girls. Like, I feel fucked up in my head. Like, I don't feel like something's right. And she's saying, oh no, you're being your own worst enemy. You're trying to like convince this kid that no, cutting your dick off was the right decision. They destroyed this child's life.
I am absolutely mortified at what you just told me,
bro. That's why I didn't want to talk about. But
there was a guy. Who's that guy?
About.
He does videos. He's an older white dude. He does a bunch of motivational videos. And he was talking to somebody about how like this woman said that she had 2 kids. One was 7 and one was 11 or something like that. And the 7-year-old was trans and the 11-year-old was pansexual, which I think means you're just attracted to people. Doesn't matter the gender, whatever it may be. Stupid. And the guy goes, the odds of you having a trans kid is like 1 in 9,000, right? The odds of you having a pansexual kid is like higher than that. It's like 1 in 40,000 or something like that. The odds of you having both kids, one being pansexual, one being trans, is like 1 in 9 million. So she goes, so do you have 2 kids that way, or are you one of these woke parents that are pushing this on kids? Because look, you said this kid started transitioning at 4 years old. Bro, I didn't even know.
That is insane.
I didn't even know what I wanted for dinner. I didn't even dress myself. I'm pretty sure at 4 years old, my mom was still laying my clothes out for me.
You had no idea.
Let
what
alone
time the
being
sun
like,
went down.
this thing I got here that I've never actually used. Or
I don't want it anymore.
I don't want it. Cut it off. Like what? It's crazy. Look, and I'm really not. Look, if you
it's
went
sad,
through that,
bro. It's like I'm not trying not to. I'm not trying.
I'm really
to
not trying to shit on people that went
up.
through that. But you know what? The suicide rates of people that transition goes up to like the suicide rate of transgender people. No, it's over 80%. Right? So you could be. Look, you could say one day. I'm not saying this is you, but say one day, Billy, you woke up and you were like, "Yo, I think I'm a girl." And I'd be like, okay, Billy, cool. And you decided to dress that way. The minute you start to transition, you take these hormones or whatever the opposite of testosterone would be, estrogen, and you transition, you cut, you do surgery, your suicide rate chances go up by 85%.
I don't doubt it. From the studies that I saw, it doesn't change, whether it's post-op or before.
For the record, did you know this chemical that they give you to stop your puberty? Do you know where it originally came from?
I know exactly what you're going to say. They use it to chemically castrate
prisoners.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're giving it to your 11-year-old.
Yep. So for those of you guys that don't know what chemical castration is, as you know, castration is basically
love my
when you
mom.
do the freaking slice off.
I love my mom. If she got my wiener chopped off at 11, we'd fight right now.
But hang on. We're talking about chemical castration. Just
Mom.
kind of like on-putters putting them on real quick. The chemical castration is not like the butchering of the sausage. It's more like this is not a joke. There's chemicals that are put inside you to basically make it not function the way that it's supposed to function. Yeah, shame. The thing that's delusional about this, especially for the ones that like are women that think they're men, is like, okay, have you ever seen a surgery of like what they do to like make like the fake Johnson down there and stuff? Bro?
No, I don't want to. That's not something in my Google search.
No, you don't have to search. I'm talking about like the scars that they leave. They basically cut like all the skin around the forearm off, and then they make like this fake, floppy thing that does absolutely nothing, that hangs off of what used to be the vagina, and you say, hey, look, you're a man now, but you don't have a forearm anymore, but and you have these scars here of what used to be your breasts, but you're a man now.
Actually saw a Twitter, and we'll wrap it up because I know we're probably almost over time. I can't even tell the time. What time is it, Juan?
You're 17 minutes in.
Damn, we over?
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, you're good.
Oh, all right. We chilling. But I saw a picture. It was actually from from like, I think it was like Gays for Whatever. It was like their Twitter page that has millions of followers. Gays? No. Maybe it was Groomers Against Gays or Gays Against Groomers, something like that. And they literally had the picture was LGBTQ+IA, and after the B there was a scissor mark, and they cut it. So they were like, "Yo, we're done with this shit. It's lesbian, gay, bisexual. All that other shit that's going on here, like we don't know what's happening, but like we're not a part of it." This was like from one of the top like gay pages I saw this on Twitter.
Interesting.
It popped up on someone's feed. They were like, "Yo, even the left is like, where's your line in the sand? Where's your line in the sand? Did you draw your line? I drew mine. I know Billy's got his.
It's funny.
Even the gays are like, you've crossed my line.
It's funny how the gays have a line in the sand, but the women still have no line in the sand for the trans people, right? That's
Women, step up. Give us liberty.
Draw your line, man.
Well, that is, we have 17. We went over 17. That was a good show.
That was a good show.
I don't give a shit. We was
I
in there.
had fun, right?
Hey,
first time on Instagram as well.
First time on IG. Make sure you follow Billy, some guy named Bill.
Not your typical politician on Instagram.
We are out here. And make sure you tune in and follow us on Facebook, Instagram at the Revive US, Revive America US.
No, Revive US America.
Yo, whatever. We just revive
because some
shit.
jerk off stole Revive America.
You know what can't be revived? That 11-year-old that cut his wiener off.
Damn, son.
That can't. But we can revive the rest. I'm sorry. I'm in a mood. But make sure you follow us. I actually won't be here next Thursday. I'm starting a new job.
Oh, excellent.
Starting a new job. So I'll be gone. But I made sure. They were like, what days do you need off?
I made sure.
I said, I need off Thursday. So I'll be here every other Thursday. I just won't be here next week.
Totally fine. Billy Previn will be solo dolo.
Solo dolo.
All day, baby.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
I'm going to, unless we can figure out a way I could do it via my laptop, and then I can do that.
Then you're going to burn the lamb sauce. Then there's going to be a problem. And then Gordon Ramsay's going to be like, where's the fucking lamb sauce?
No, I'll be off. I'll just be down in like South Jersey. Maybe. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it. But thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you follow us on Rumble, Instagram, Facebook. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen.
God bless.
Another episode in the books, man.
Yes, sir.
Paging Dr. Juan.